it. But if you're going to ask me the straight up question, is John Jones afraid to fight me? The honest answer would be yes.
Tom Aspinall accuses John Jones of ducking tough fights, claiming the UFC champ is conning the public by avoiding him and Francis Ngannou. Tom Aspinall, the UFC interim heavyweight champion, has become increasingly vocal in his criticism of John Jones, accusing the UFC's undisputed heavyweight champion of avoiding major challenges in his career. Aspinall's frustrations have grown over the past year as he has been sidelined from a potential title unification fight with Jones. According to Aspinall, Jones is ducking both him and Francis Ngannou, a fighter with whom Jones has long been linked in a potential blockbuster matchup. Aspinall doesn't mince words, claiming that Jones is conning the public by avoiding these tough fights. Although he respects Jones's skill and acknowledges his greatness, Aspinall doesn't believe that the champion is willing to take on the toughest challenges in his career, particularly as the issues between Aspinall and Jones stem from a number of factors. First, there is the question of the interim heavyweight title that Aspinall currently holds. Having won the title over Sergey Pavlovich at UFC 295, Aspinall has been waiting for over 500 days to face Jones for the undisputed heavyweight title. However, despite his significant victories and high ranking, Aspinall has yet to be booked for a unification bout against Jones, who himself claimed the undisputed title after defeating Cyril Gane at UFC 285. While Jones has continued to defend his title, including a victory over Stipe Miocic at UFC 309, Aspinall's title defense against Pavlovich has been overshadowed by Jones's absence from the division. Aspinall believes that Jones's reluctance to face him in the octagon is indicative of a fear of a true challenge. Aspinall made it clear on the Impulsive podcast that he believes Jones is intentionally avoiding the fight. His argument centers around the fact that Jones avoided Ngannou for over 3 years, only to continue delaying a potential matchup with him or Aspinall once he ascended to the heavyweight division.
I want to be the
with Ngannou is complicated by the former champion's departure from the UFC. After a long negotiation standoff, Ngannou left the UFC, leaving Jones as the sole title holder in the division. Ngannou has expressed interest in fighting Jones, but only under the PFL banner, which has further complicated the possibility of the two fighters meeting in the cage. The ongoing situation has fueled speculation that Jones is reluctant to take on Ngannou, who many view as one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport. For Aspinall, the delay in securing a fight with Jones is both frustrating and perplexing. Despite holding the interim title, Aspinall has not been given the opportunity to unify it with Jones. To make matters worse, Aspinall has had to deal with the perception that Jones has been dodging him, and he has frequently aired his grievances about the situation in public. He has openly stated that he believes Jones is scared of facing him, echoing sentiments that have been echoed by others in the MMA community who have questioned the timing of Jones's defenses.
Do you think the John fight will happen?
I don't know. I want it to, obviously. I mean, I think I've been talking about it for like 2 years now. In all honesty, I've been in the rooms with the UFC brass, Dana, Hunter, the rest of them, and they've told me it's happening. And that's all I can go off. So I trust that it's going to happen if they're telling me that.
Have they given you like a cut-off point? Have they said, right, we're going to give it till this point, and then we're going to move maybe in a different direction?
Well, I have got a meeting about that next week, so
okay,
I will let you know on that. But for right now, that's what we've got a meeting about it, so I'll find out more then.
Still, despite his strong opinions about Jones, Aspinall remains optimistic about his future in the UFC. Recently, he had a positive meeting with UFC executives, including UFC Chief Business Officer Hunter Campbell. The meeting reportedly went well, and Aspinall feels more confident than ever that he will soon be in the title picture. He was particularly encouraged by the meeting, though he remained vague about the details of their discussion. The meeting with Campbell reportedly helped Aspinall understand his current standing in the organization and what the future holds. Aspinall made it clear that while he is eager to fight, he is focused on securing the undisputed heavyweight title and not just any fight. His ambition is to cement his legacy as the undisputed heavyweight champion of the UFC, and money or other factors are secondary to that goal. Aspinall stated that he has no interest in defending his interim title again, as he believes that his next fight should be for the true championship.
We had a fantastic meeting. Everything went amazing. I understand my position now. I understand what the company's doing now. And you got to stay tuned, my friend, because there's some big news coming.
Despite the long wait and the frustration of being sidelined for so long, Aspinall remains dedicated to his training and preparation. He emphasized that he is not simply sitting at home waiting for a call, but instead is in the gym every day, working hard to prepare for whatever opportunity comes his way. Aspinall is confident that everything is happening for a reason, and that when the time is right, he will get the chance to prove that he is the best heavyweight in the world. He is excited about the future and the potential opportunities that lie ahead. Addressed Jones's public comments about the financial demands for a potential fight between the two. Jones has openly stated that he requires "fuck you" money to fight Aspinall, a demand that has sparked much debate. Aspinall expressed understanding and support for Jones in this regard, saying that he believes Jones deserves every penny he makes given his accomplishments in the sport. Despite this, Aspinall's frustration lies not with Jones's desire for a payday, but with the fact that Jones seems to be pricing himself out of a potential fight. He said, "I would also agree with the notion that he deserves every penny that he makes because he's done everything. He's done everything that he can." Others in the MMA world have weighed in on the situation, including Colby Covington, who has been critical of Jones for allegedly pricing himself out of the fight with Aspinall. Covington suggested that Jones is asking for astronomical sums of money, figures as high as $40 million or $50 million, in an attempt to avoid facing a younger, hungry opponent like Aspinall. Covington went further to claim that Jones would rather retire than risk his legacy against someone who could potentially spoil his undefeated record.
An unreasonable price, man. You can't be asking for $40-50 million. You don't draw money to the company like that. So, I think that he's going to end up retiring before he fights Aspinall.
Despite the negativity surrounding Jones's reluctance to face tough opponents, some figures in the sport believe that a fight between him and Aspinall is inevitable. Mark Coleman recently hinted at the possibility of the two fighters meeting after an interaction he had with Jones at the Dirty Boxing Championship event. Although Coleman did not provide specific details about the conversation, he seemed confident that Jones would eventually face Aspinall, calling Jones the GOAT and suggesting that a fight between the two was likely to happen in the near future. He posted, "I ran across the champ at Dirty Boxing. He is the GOAT. He will be fighting Aspinall soon. We are so brothers. God is great." Despite ongoing delays, Dana White remains firm in his belief that the fight will happen. While the final details are still being worked out, he has reassured fans that it is only a matter of time before the bout becomes official. However, this optimism has done little to calm the growing frustration among fans and fighters who are eager to see progress. With no contract signed yet, skepticism continues to rise as many feel the wait has gone on for too long.
Do you have a cut-off point in your mind of when to get that done?
No, it's going to happen. It's done, but it's not done. Not done enough to sit right here now and announce it and give you a date, but the fight's going to happen.
With that then, if I could just poke it a little bit more, is it more on logistics rather than the agreement of the fighters? No. Is it on the logistics?
No, there's no, just a matter of getting it signed now.
Michael Bisping has also expressed his thoughts on the matter, sympathizing with Aspinall's situation. He acknowledges the frustration Aspinall must feel, given that he is at his peak and training consistently, yet unable to secure a fight that should have already been scheduled. Bisping has been particularly critical of the notion that Jones needs 6 months to prepare, arguing that a fighter of his caliber should not require such an extended training camp. If Jones continues to delay, Bisping believes the UFC might have to take action, potentially stripping him of his title to keep the division moving.
I think what he's doing is playing a really smart game. I mean, leading up to his last fight with Stipe Miocic, he was kind of dismissing the fight, and that just made everybody want to see the fight even more. So I think he's playing like a stroke of genius here and annoying everybody, pissing off Tom Aspinall and just ramping up the excitement for the fight. I think the fight will happen later this year, if not this summer. So until we know that, it's not fair to say that he's ducking him.
Aspinall's father, Andy Aspinall, has been one of the most outspoken figures on the issue. He firmly believes that his son has done everything necessary to earn his shot at the undisputed heavyweight championship. For Andy, this situation is about more than just securing the fight. It is about fairness. He finds it unacceptable that Tom has to remain in limbo while Jones takes his time deciding when or if he wants to compete.
To have the fight, Tom's not bothered with fights. John Jones is just another body in the gym, Another bum in the shower, they said, don't they? It just is. He just wants to compete. He's a competitor. Yeah. And as a coach, you want him competing when he's fit. You don't want him sitting around and in the gym. You don't know whether they're ready or not. You don't know what level they're going to be at. You know, I just want him to compete. He wants to compete all the time, so hopefully they'll sort something out. I don't know what's holding it up.
Dricus du Plessis has shared his perspective on the possible fight, recognizing Aspinall's rise as an elite contender while also respecting Jones's legacy. He believes that the matchup is inevitable, but admits to feeling conflicted about the outcome. From his point of view, Jones has already cemented his place in history and has earned the right to retire without a loss. This emotional complexity makes the fight even more intriguing, as it represents both an opportunity for Aspinall and a potential closing chapter for Jones.
Aspinall is young, he's hungry. You have Jones, who is definitely at the end of his career, 38 years old. I don't need to see this because he's never been beaten. So I don't need to see John Jones fight Aspinall because I don't want either one of them to lose. I want John Jones to retire unbeaten. Of course, he had that DQ for 12-6, which is now legal, but unbeaten and the legend that he is. And I want him to retire and Aspinall goes on to be the next big thing.
Francis Ngannou has also weighed in, adding another dimension to the discussion. He suggests that Jones's reluctance may not be about his skills inside the octagon, but rather about negotiating the right financial deal. According to Francis Ngannou, the fight means far more for Aspinall's career than it does for Jones's. He questions whether Jones even sees the bout as necessary for his legacy, or if he is simply holding out for a bigger payday. Francis Ngannou also believes that Aspinall's grappling abilities could present a bigger challenge to Jones than someone like Alex Pereira, whom Jones has shown more interest in fighting.
He keeps saying he doesn't want Aspinall.
Aspinall need that fight. I don't need it. When you look at it, pretty much true. There's nothing that he's going to make winning that fight if it's not money. But for Aspinall, that will be everything.
Would you rather see him face Aspinall or would you rather see him face Pereira?
Aspinall would be a more challenging fight because Aspinall responds to a ground game better than Pereira. Aspinall will respond better in wrestling than Pereira. And he can do whatever he wants.
MMA analyst MMA Guru has been outspoken about the delays, expressing frustration over the prolonged wait. He believes that the situation has robbed fans of an exciting heavyweight clash that could have headlined one of the upcoming UFC events. He is particularly critical of Jones, arguing that the champion is making unnecessary excuses to postpone the fight. Beyond Jones, he also takes issue with the UFC's handling of the situation, suggesting that the promotion should be stricter in enforcing rules to prevent champions from delaying title defenses. In his view, if Jones continues to stall, the UFC should consider taking drastic measures, including potentially terminating his contract to set a precedent for the sport.
So John Jones has come out and said that he needs 6 months of preparation to fight Aspinall once it's locked in, which means we are not going to get this fight on International Fight Week. We aren't going to get it in June, July, or August. The earliest that we are going to get this fight, and that's if it is signed over the next week, is in September. If this takes a few weeks to get done, we aren't going to see this fight until October. John Jones is an absolute embarrassment to MMA. He is a disgrace. He should be not only stripped of the World Championship.
From a strategic standpoint, Stipe Miocic has provided his insight on how Aspinall should approach the fight. Understanding Jones's ability to capitalize on opponents' mistakes, Miocic believes that patience will be key for Aspinall. Jones has built his career by exposing his opponent's weaknesses, and Miocic warns that rushing into exchanges could be costly. Instead, he advises Aspinall to wait for the right opportunities and avoid being overly aggressive, as a calculated approach would give him a better chance of success.
If that matchup does get booked with him and John Jones, what's the best advice you'd give Tom Aspinall?
Don't do what I did.
Avoid the liver shot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what are you gonna do? But I think Tommy, that guy, he's super tough and he hits hard. He moves well. He's a big man. I think that he stays calm on the situation, and whatever happens, he just stays calm. I think he'll be fine. He picks his shots. He's smart what he does, and I think he'll do fine.
Sean O'Malley has taken a broader perspective on the situation, suggesting that no matter what happens, Jones's place in MMA history is already secure. While an Aspinall victory could lead to debates about whether Jones's age and inactivity have affected his performance, O'Malley sees the fight as a defining moment for Aspinall rather than Jones. For Aspinall, it presents a chance to establish himself as the next dominant champion. For Jones, it could either be another routine title defense or the beginning of a new chapter in his storied career.
Tom Aspinall? God damn. It's like You risk going down as no matter what, you don't have to fight again. Greatest of all time, people will say that. You're the greatest of all time. Greatest of all time, John Jones. Or you risk it, go fight Tom Aspinall, possibly lose, and then it's like, he was the greatest. Then they're saying, yeah, but he wasn't in his prime.
Curtis Blades, who has first-hand experience fighting Aspinall, sees the matchup as a necessary one for Jones to prove himself as a true heavyweight champion. Blades acknowledges that Aspinall's speed and striking could pose unique challenges for Jones, similar to the difficulties Dominic Reyes presented in their fight. He also points out that Jones has not shown significant knockout power at heavyweight, which could make it harder for him to neutralize Aspinall's movement and offensive output.
Do you see Aspinall as a guy that could give John a lot of problems?
Yeah, he's very fast, he's very athletic, and hits hard enough, and he's actually like a smart heavyweight. He's not just out there just fighting and moving. He's like setting things up. He understands footwork. He understands how to set up a takedown. He's not. One thing I noticed with John, this is a bonus to him. He takes advantage of like easy stuff.
Frank Mir shares a similar assessment, but ultimately favors Jones due to his grappling expertise. He believes that Jones's ability to control opponents on the ground, combined with his aggressive ground and pound, could prevent Aspinall from executing his own game plan. However, Mir also notes that Jones's legacy is not dependent on a single fight, as his years of dominance in the sport have already solidified his reputation. While Aspinall presents a real challenge, Mir sees Jones's overall skill set as too well-rounded to be easily overcome.
I think Tom might have the best chance of anybody to beat John right now. But that being said, I still think John wins the fight just because of his wrestling. I think he puts, Tom on his back and is able to nullify his jiu-jitsu from being top position with his elbows and control. What does John win to take that fight? He goes out there and beats Tom. Is it really going to make or break his career? I don't think anybody gives a shit.
Kamaru Usman has highlighted the financial aspect of Jones's decision-making. While he agrees that Aspinall could be Jones's toughest test at heavyweight, he believes that at this stage of Jones's career, financial incentives play a major role in determining whether he takes a fight. Jones has already achieved everything there is to accomplish in the sport, and Usman suggests that the risk of fighting a dangerous opponent like Aspinall must be balanced against the potential reward.
I do think Tom Aspinall is the most dangerous heavyweight right now. 100% the biggest threat to pry that belt away from John Jones. But John has got to get that bag. Gets that bag.
30 million Kush.
Wait. You keep saying 30. Don't be counting the man's pockets like that. Hey, relax.
No, it's already, the word's already out there, man. People can't keep their mouth shut.
Israel Adesanya has also provided his thoughts on the potential matchup, acknowledging Aspinall's striking abilities while pointing to Jones's wrestling as a key factor. He believes that if Jones can dictate the fight on the ground, he could wear down Aspinall and control the pace. While Aspinall has the skills to make the fight competitive, Adesanya sees Jones's grappling as a decisive advantage in what is expected to be an unpredictable contest.
But Aspinall, he and his dad, cool dudes, lovely guys as well. But he's the same height as me, if not an inch taller, but thick. And I was like, you're a lot thicker than I would expect. And the speed, that's the thing that I'm like, okay, that's the danger. But again, grappling, he's a black belt. John that's different. But I don't know, man. They gotta fight, but if they don't ever fight, we'll never know.
In the end, the fight between Tom Aspinall and John Jones remains one of the most anticipated matchups in recent UFC history. Fans and fighters alike are eagerly awaiting the resolution to the ongoing drama, and the stakes for the heavyweight title have never been higher. As the situation continues to evolve, it's clear that both fighters are determined to secure their legacies, and the world will be watching closely to see when or if they will finally collide in the octagon. So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.